Welcome to our newscast. We begin with a commentary on Elon Musk because I will tell you something. He now is owning Twitter, and that is very dangerous for African Americans and very dangerous for democracy. Musk claims to be about free speech, but we all know what that means. That means white men can say anything they want to say, inflame anything they want to inflame, and black Americans are silenced like they silenced Black Lives Matter on Twitter when all that racism was just completely out of control. All right, this acquisition is dangerous for democracy. Make no mistake. And to this, here's what Musk says, quote, "The extreme antibody reaction from those who fear free speech says it all," unquote. Really? Musk fundamentally does not get it. When entitled white supremacists get through inflaming everybody they can, including the police, who are already bad enough, okay? Bashing everything black, the police continue their unchecked onslaught on our men and women, where they shoot us down in cold blood on video in the streets, even shooting us in the head. And there is absolutely no repercussion in about 99.9% of the cases, and they get away with it. Where is Elon Musk in that equation? He says nothing. Do not be fooled by Elon Musk just because he has a cute little Tesla. Don't buy it, okay? He doesn't care. And this is borne out at Tesla, in case you're wondering, because look at that Tesla plant in Fremont, California. I've been reporting on it. Racism against blacks is rampant. In 2017, Vaughn sued Tesla because he was repeatedly called the N-word by managers and co-workers at the plant. He won. Then again, and apparently nothing was done, because in December 2021, Tesla was ordered to pay $137 million in damages to black former contractor Owen Diaz. He accused the company of turning a blind eye to discrimination and racial abuse at the same plant. Okay, we're 5 years from 2017. At the end of 2021, multiple women came forward and accused Tesla of fostering a culture of sexual harassment at the same plant. This man doesn't learn a thing. And today, the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing is suing Tesla after receiving hundreds of complaints from workers finding evidence that the Fremont factory is a, quote, segregated workplace where black workers are subjected to racial slurs and discriminated against in job assignments, discipline, pay, and promotion, creating a hostile work environment, unquote. Where is Musk in solving this problem that's at least 5 years old? He hasn't done a thing about it. He is with his right-wing associates. He does not care, and I will not be surprised if he also fosters the same racism towards us, and now he can use Twitter to do it. But remember this, if blacks leave Twitter, Twitter's over. Think about it. I'm Carol Angela Davis. Carol Angela Davis, bringing you your stories from all around the neighborhood and all around the world, and starting with your headlines. Folks, big tech is in trouble somewhere, not here, but fortunately, Europe's got it handled. Also today, is there anything out there that's not involving systemic racism against African Americans? Plus, Omarosa beats Donald Trump again. Also, his comedy set flopped after he said the N-word. What was he thinking? Or I guess he wasn't thinking. Then the U.S. and Cuba are talking again, plus forgiving student loan debt, and Donald Trump fined $10,000 a day. And wait till you hear about these African Americans. Stay with me. Well, at least Europe is taking on big tech, folks. Europe putting new regulations on big tech, forcing Silicon Valley companies to more aggressively police harmful and illegal content on their platforms, or they're going to face large fines of up to 6% of global revenue, folks. It's actually two laws called the Digital Services Act and the Digital Markets Act. They're aimed at social network shopping of websites and search engines. It means tech companies have to provide information to regulators and to outside researchers about their algorithms. And those are the algorithms that control what people see on their sites and around how companies target online ads. Now in Europe, what is illegal offline is also illegal online. As we all know, Washington lawmakers have not been able to figure out how to pass legislation to rein in these tech companies. Hopefully they will take Europe's lead and finally do something, because all they're doing right now is trying to regulate women. Stop, get the job done, folks, and keep black folks from voting. All right, let's move on. Is there anything out there that does not discriminate? I'm talking absolute systemic discrimination against African Americans. I mean, from West Virginia, a lawsuit there in that state demanding that a black male prisoner be set free due to chronic kidney disease that tends to get whites set free. Now, his name is 40-year-old John Tay Robinson. He was denied early release from prison due to a kidney disease. It's a formula that determined that his kidneys were healthy enough for him to stay in prison. That's right, folks. And that's because the Federal Bureau of Prisons uses the EGFR test, that is a race-based test, to determine how bad the kidney function disease is. Now, the National Kidney Foundation says that test approximates a kidney function score based on age, sex, race, and body weight. The EGFR adjustment based on Robinson's race pushed his score above the cutoff point, which means he could not get an early release from prison. But Mr. Robinson's attorneys say that if Mr. Robinson were white, his medical data would indicate that he was suffering from chronic kidney disease, allowing him to get that early release. I'm so sick of these people. I'm just sick of them. Let's move on to you-know-who, another fool, Donald Trump. But good news here, the beleaguered Donald Trump campaign has to pay an unprecedented $1.3 million in attorney fees for Omarosa Manigault Newman's attorneys. Now, you remember that it's all over that lawsuit filed over that book she wrote about her time working in the White House. Manigault Newman's lawyer is John Phillips. He says it is the, quote, largest known attorney fee award against a political campaign or president we can find, and hopefully will send a message that weaponized litigation will not be tolerated. All right, now, let's go on. Right-wing conspiracy theorists, we could stop there, there's so many of these fools. Alex Jones' attorney was caught on camera saying the N-word during a comedy set where he even had to pull his pants down to his ankles to try and be funny. He wasn't. None of it worked, okay? The so-called comedian is Norm Pattis. He was performing in East Haven, Connecticut, and footage of his comedy routine shows that literally no one in the audience thought it was funny or he was funny either. He reportedly rambled on about Black Lives Matter, made racial slurs and homophobic remarks with his pants down to his ankles. All right, Pattis also tried to denigrate former San Francisco quarterback Colin Kaepernick. None of it worked. Dude, you're not funny, okay? You're not funny, so just hang it up. One person who was there said the entire mood changed when the comedian Pattis actually said the N-word. See, America is getting it. Stop the dumb stuff. All right, let's move to your student loans, where 9 out of 10 young Americans support government action on student debt. That's the word from a Harvard survey. It says 38% of young adults want the full cancellation of the debt. Another 25% want the government to help with repayment options. Another 25% say they want government action for those who have the most need. You should know the U.S. exceeds $1.7 trillion, folks, in student loan debt, and at least 25% of that is interest, and probably more than that, probably about 75% is interest, because we know how fast that interest goes up. More than 40 million American households are in debt for their education, and the student loan debt is more than credit card and auto debt combined. It's just a mess. All right, so we should also tell you that up to a quarter of those 40 million Americans are in delinquency or default. The Biden administration is under pressure to cancel student loan debt, since that is what Biden campaigned on. Get it done, dude. All right, also support for full cancellation of student debt, you should know, is up by 5 percentage points since 2020, so that's good news. Moving on, it's been 4 years, but apparently migration talks between the U.S. and Cuba are resuming. Thank goodness. The objective to restore the U.S.-Cuba migration accords, that's under which the United States agrees to issue at least 20,000 immigrant visas to Cubans every year, and Cuba agrees to accept the deportation flights of those who came here illegally. Now, of course, those talks, we all know, they were suspended when Donald Trump became president. In all his pettiness, you know, he tried to undo everything Obama did. So, of course, this is just one more thing he tried to undo. Obama made the decision to open and restore diplomatic relations in 2015. Currently, there is a spike, folks, in the number of Cuban migrants entering the country through Mexico. They're coming in through Mexico. All right, let's move on. A judge has held Donald Trump in contempt and is now forcing him to pay $10,000 a day in fines. That's because he won't comply with the subpoena from New York Attorney General Letitia James. James is investigating whether the Trump administration, the Trump organization, I should say, misstated the value of its real estate portfolios to obtain those favorable loans and tax deductions. James has said her probe has found, quote, significant evidence suggesting that for more than a decade, the company's financial statements relied on misleading asset valuations and other misrepresentations to secure economic benefits. Some of the properties that are in question include golf clubs in New York and Scotland, as well as Trump's own Manhattan penthouse there in Trump Tower. So we can't wait to see how this plays out. Then a Navy-guided missile destroyer is now named after African-American aviator, the late Frank E. Peterson Jr. He was the Marine Corps' first black aviator and officer to reach the rank of brigadier general, folks. At the time of his retirement, he was the senior aviator in the Marine Corps. The ship will carry 32 officers and 297 enlisted personnel. As for him, we should tell you Peterson was born there in Topeka, Kansas. He served in the Korean and the Vietnam Wars. He flew more than 4,000 hours in 350 combat missions over his career. And then finally today, oh yes, meet Damola Alaikin. He's a 33-year-old CEO of P.F. Chang's China Bistro, and he's had that job since 2020, and I mean, he's doing it. He's the reason the business survived the pandemic hit with a 31.7% increase in sales in 2021 compared to 2020. Alaikin earned his undergraduate degree from Brown University. That was a degree in economics. Then he went to Harvard Business School. He is from Columbia, Maryland. We should tell you that P.F. Chang's, just so you know how big the job is, it is one of the largest upscale dining Asian restaurant brands around the world with more than 300 locations. Do it. Okay. Carol Angela Davis here. Stay with me. I've got your slay word you're missing, your Ask Dr. K International Report, Crypto Convos. Stay with me. Carol Angela Davis here with your slay word of the week, and the word this week is lacuna. L-A-C-U-N-A, lacuna. Folks, that is a noun. That makes it a person, place, or thing. Its origin is in the mid-17th century, coming from the Latin. The definition of lacuna is an unfilled space, a gap, okay? We'll use it in a sentence. The January 6th committee found a lacuna in the records the White House provided to the National Archives. Monkey business, okay? Here's the second sentence. During the failed Trump administration, there was a lacuna of leadership at the top, which caused many national and international problems that we are still dealing with. The moral of the story is don't elect somebody who's just completely soulless to the White House. Lacuna, that's your slay word of the week, an unfilled space or interval, a gap. Use lacuna every day this week in your sentences and level up your vocab.
I'm Otha Smith, CEO and founder of Tetragram, a mobile app for cannabis consumers to keep track of the products they purchase, rate the effectiveness of that product, and then share those personal reviews with others. I'm here today at Marion Main Dispensary in Capitol Heights, Maryland, owned and operated by my homegirl, Hope Wiseman. Please download the Tetragram app today and take control of your personal journey with cannabis.
Hey, where are you? This is our segment Missing, which you know we are working very hard to help find missing black girls. And we hope that you will work with us because with your help, we will find them. 27-year-old Raja Mcqueen was last seen in her vehicle at a Cleveland, Ohio gas station in June of 2021. She was reportedly in the passenger seat of her 2018 silver Nissan Sentra. Raja is the mother of 2 sons. Raja Mcqueen is 5'7" tall, weighs about 135 pounds, has black or dark brown hair and brown eyes. Her car's license plate number is JGH3953. That is the license plate number for her silver Nissan Sentra. That plate again, JGH3953. Crime Stoppers is offering a $5,000 reward. Call Cleveland Police at 216-623-5418. That number again, 216-623-5418 if you have any information about Raja Mcqueen's disappearance. Where are you? We are working hard to find you, and with the community's help, we will accomplish that objective. I'm Carol Angela Davis. We're back at you with the International Report, and we're here with Dr. Inyang Ebong-Harstrup. Hey, Eni, how are you?
I'm fine, Carol. How are you?
Well, I'm good. Just hoping that the world is not as crazy as we think it is it?
Well, my story today is not a great one. We're spending excessive amounts on arming ourselves. I have a report from the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute that was published, and it's saying that the world military spending tops 2 trillion for the first time in 7 years. They've been recording this expenditure, and the first time in 7 years it's topped 2 trillion. And it's reached the 2 trillion mark. And who are the offenders? The United States, China, India, Russia, the United Kingdom. And together, these 5 powers account for 62% of the global expenditure, according to this new data that's been published. Russia, of course, we know they invaded Ukraine, and their spending has just gone up by 2.9% to the 3rd year of consecutive growth, and it's now 65.9 billion. And on we go. The countries in Europe, in NATO, they are increasing their weaponry. And you know, the United States outstripped any other nation with 801 billion. It actually went down somewhat, but still it outstrips everybody else. China, the world's 2nd largest military spender, at an estimated 293 billion, boosted its expenditure by 4.7% for the 27th straight year in a row. So you see, these countries are just increasing and increasing and increasing. And you know, Carol, with this much military hardware in the arsenal, it has to be used. That's all I'm going to say. It has to be used.
And therein lies the thing. It has to be used. So war. It's just really, really unfortunate. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Inyang Ebong-Harstrup, with your international report. And we'll see you next week. I'm Carol Angela Davis. Back at you with your crypto convos, keeping you abreast of everything going on in blockchain. Lionel the Builder Sepp joins us. Hi, Lionel.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Talking about Elon Musk.
Yes, so as you all know, Elon Musk has recently bought Twitter, and I know that stirred up a lot of controversy over the internet, but I wanted to say from the crypto perspective, those of you who are into cryptocurrency, this is actually great news when it comes to the mass adoption of cryptocurrency. Elon Musk is partnered with this company called Strike, which makes it easier for companies to receive Bitcoin. And Elon Musk is a huge supporter of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general. And the entire movement, that entire cryptocurrency movement, as you all know, of his support of Dogecoin and Shiba, and he's allowing you to buy Teslas with Bitcoin. So now with him owning Twitter, there's a lot of different whispers of how things are going to develop. Some people are saying that this is going to create a wallet that every single Twitter holder can hold, which will have to do with crypto. And if you guys were paying attention yesterday, Doge price went up hugely when he bought it. It's came back down a little bit now, but we're thinking long term, you know, once he really does get busy and doing those Elon Musk things that he does when he gets to work with these companies, and this applies to cryptocurrency, this is just another one of those signs of the future bubbling up, you know, and the current of the stream is moving rapidly in that direction. As time goes by, these are these little things that keep happening, you know, from JP Morgan first calling Bitcoin a scam to now being a supporter of it. Same with Mark Cuban and all the other billionaires and banks, and Staples Center changing his name to crypto.com. You can just add this one to the list. And yeah, that's it for the week.
Thank you so much, Lionel. That's so interesting to look at that Twitter acquisition in terms of how it affects blockchain. Quite interesting. And so you're so right about how these other people said, they tried to poo-poo blockchain. Well, who's poo-pooing now? And that, folks, is why Lionel's here, to keep you abreast of the blockchain market, let you know what's going on in crypto. Thank you, Lionel.
Thank you.
And I'm Carol Angela Davis. Stay with me. Ask Dr. K is coming right up. Oh, we're back, and we're at the end of our weekly show. We always close the show out with you in mind, your health, your longevity, your wellness. And that's why Dr. K always closes out the show. Welcome, Dr. K.
Thanks for having me. Today, I want to talk about Alzheimer's disease, and I want to reframe the Alzheimer's discussion as a global issue in terms of our lives. And that's why we're seeing the explosion of it, because it's mirroring the explosion of chronic illnesses, obesity, diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol. All of them are associated with an increased risk of developing Alzheimer's later in life. Anything that deposits cholesterol in your blood vessels, and that is high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, obesity, increases your risk for Alzheimer's disease, believe it or not. So what do? The whole foods plant-based diet is what it always comes down to. Eating a full diet that comes from the earth. That includes nuts, seeds, in addition to fruits and vegetables, and not just some vegetables, but when you really bring in all the colors and the textures that are found in the fruit and vegetable aisle, the beans, the nuts, the seeds, you really increase your health and wellness. The colors, they're called flavonoids, and your brain loves colors. Give eggplant, strawberries, blueberries, carrots. These all are very, very important to the function of your brain. The meat-based diet, which includes chicken and eggs, I'm sorry to say, is a diet that promotes the development of Alzheimer's disease later in life. Also, there's a lot of discussion about things like the Mediterranean diet, the MIND diet, supplements, etc. It's not that complicated. Really, when your diet consists of, from that produce aisle, keep it simple, people. Get the meat and the dairy out of your diet. You will live longer, you will live a higher quality of life, and you'll avoid things like Alzheimer's disease, end of life issues. So let's think about it as a global disease that reflects our lifestyle and therefore could be under our control. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Dr. K. Now you see why Dr. K is here with you at the end of the show every week. You can always find her closing it out because she wants to keep you healthy. So please try and take the advice. I'm Carol Angela Davis. We thank you so much for joining us. From all of us here at Impact News, we wish you a wonderful week, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.